What's going on, guys? This is me, Pokeboy God 18. Hope everything's going well on your side. A little bit late on my side right here. Probably around 6 or something. Not too sure, but today we're going to be looking at some level 50 XL Meltan battles in the Fantasy Cup. So, story about the Meltan. So, I was walking back from somewhere the other day, and it was during the event where was it? It was this event where like Meltan got released. I think it was like the anniversary event or something. But I decided to pop a mystery box because I had fixed my Pokemon Home account, and I stumbled on this Meltan, and I was like, okay, let me check the IVs, and it was a Hundo. So I was like, okay, that's pretty fire. That's pretty fire. So initially I was like, oh, that was a great catch, by the way, if you didn't see that. That game came in clutch right there because now we can farm it to the Moonblast here. Then we can go for another Moonblast on the Azumarill and then take the dub. But anyways, the Meltan was caught in the wild as a Hundo, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Initially, I thought I was going to build it as a Master League Elemental, and obviously that's everybody's first thought. But, I mean, you can never go wrong with the Great League Meltan, am I right? So that's what we're here with today. So, next battle, we've got Meltan into Azumarill. And you would probably think this is a good matchup, right? We've got electric type moves, Thunder Shock, Thunderbolt. Charge is pretty okay, but the only meta win that this little guy gets is actually Tapu Fini. And if you didn't see that short, you'll understand why. It's because Azumarill is just so bulky in this cup. And oh, speaking of which, I know I probably uploaded like a 1 or 2 days after the Fantasy Cup is already out. I'm pretty sure Fossil Cup is out right now, and what is it, Ultra League? Yeah, nothing too exciting. So I just wanted to get a couple more battles in, so get a couple more wins to showcase. They're gonna have double seal in the back right here. We're gonna shield up this move, and there's pretty much game over for them now because we can just farm them down and they concede. So yeah, the Fantasy Cup. I want the meta wins. Meltan is just such a hard Pokemon to use because there's literally like nothing you can do to buff it. There's only like you can only buff Thunderbolt or Flash Cannon. That's obviously not gonna happen. Like this little guy was struggling so hard, like right there against the Flygon. Ground type moves, ground type Pokemon are just so hard. Like for example, like if you see something like Galarian Sunfist for the Excadrill, like it's already you cannot come back from that. It's like very hard to use, especially since it has very low coverage. I guess you have the electric type coverage, but it doesn't really make up for it. The opponent's going to have a Turtonator here. We're going to go for a Dragon Pulse. The win con here is if we can grab the shield or something like that. We do grab the shield, which is perfect because now we can farm up a little more energy with our Clefable, and we didn't take damage from that last Incinerate that went through, which means we can throw this Meteor Mash on good timing right before they reach a Dragon Claw and take that dub. In the next match, we've got another Azumarill lead. I really liked the Azumarill leads that I was seeing. It was very fun. We can get, usually none of them knew like the coverage, so they were letting him through, obviously because Azumarill can take anything in this cup. Oh, you'll also notice that in the first 2 or 3 battles, as I wasn't paying attention, I was using Clefable instead of the Azumarill on the graphic you see on the right. Well, that was because I wanted to start off with Turtonator and the Clefable as a safe swap because of a recommended somebody recommended me the team that I wanted to use on Zionic's Discord. If you don't know him, he's probably like his channel's probably dead now because he's like moved on from Pokemon Go or anything. But I was in his Discord flexing the Hundo, saying I would build it for Great League, and he recommended me Turtonator and Clefable. So I was like, okay, let me try that, and it worked out pretty good for the first couple battles. I mean, the first day I did it, I went 0-5 twice, but I mean that's what you get when you run Spice, you know. Right here, we couldn't get another overheat off, but it doesn't matter because this Meltan is just gonna take that dub because we had the energy lead. Even the Azumarill on low health, we could take out that Excadrill. So yeah, good lead in the next match, and Poleon is still not the best matchup. They swap into a Force Palm Lucario. They should be on something like Power Up Punch right there. I was expecting something like the Shadow Ball because I wasn't sure about the counts for Force Palm yet. I hadn't completely done the raid day yet. So they have a Wigglytuff now. We're gonna come into our Azumarill here. And I immediately recognized this core because instead of running Grass Hole, this was the core that I use when I get tilted and pull down Double Charm. It was just really strong. I know, I get it. I get it. I'm not supposed to be that toxic, but they make a huge mistake and they shield our Play Rough instead of our super effective Thunderbolt, and Meltan sweeps the end game. So that was really funny to see. In the next match, we've got another Wigglytuff. My hope is that I can live all these charms and then just go straight Flash Cannon. Hopefully I can land at least one of these. They're going to shield the first one. They're going to go for an Icy Wind here because you obviously need that debuff. They're going to keep going for a Charm Down. We're going to throw this Flash Cannon. Do they let it go? They do let it go. And just barely, Meltan finishes off the Clefable, not the Clefable, the Wigglytuff in the ones, just barely on 1 HP. And now they have a Regiseal in the back, and things are looking pretty good for us here. We're going to take that Focus Blast, go for the Overheat. Overheat's going to grab the shield. Opponent's going to go for a Zap Cannon here, and I'm not sure what they have in the back. We're going to go for this Play Rough here. Play Rough should get the KO. We should have a good matchup in the back. Okay, it's the Whimsicott. So, I haven't seen too much of Whimsicott on that cup, actually. Pretty unique Pokemon to see, but we're going to be taking this dub anyway because even if they're on like Seed Bomb, which they are actually on Grass Knot, which is kind of weird. Either way, we would get an Incinerate through if probably not if we got like 1 turn lag or something. And then I know they put out like that bug patch where like they supposedly fixed the what's it called, the frame drops and whatnot, but I don't know, I don't believe it. I'm still getting a lot of lag lately, but anyway, we do take that game. It's going to be a similar matchup like the one in the past. I believe this Lucario is going to be on Thunder Punch, and they are on Thunder Punch. Azumarill is going to be coming back in. I know I can take the Play Rough here. I'm just barely able to live it. I'm going to go for an Overheat because Overheat would be doing significant damage over Dragon Pulse. And because Dragon Pulse is just a bad move in general. Now we can come into our own Azumarill. And we can farm up some energy. They're going to go for their own Play Rough. Then they swap into a Turtonator. And I make kind of a mistake because I was expecting them to shield, but they actually call the Play Rough bait. And we also get a little bit of a lag there, like a little bit of stutter lag. We're going to catch the next Overheat because we cannot take any more damage on our Azumarill because the plan now is forget about their shields. Forget all of that and just go for a full bubble farm down on the rest of their team. That is the win con. We live the Play Rough on 1 HP. That is the rank 4 Azumarill IVs coming in clutch. Let me take that game. In the next game, a very tricky lead here. The little guy is going up against something that could absolutely obliterate it with 1 move. So we're going to try and call the Overheat here against the G-Weezy. We do correctly call it, and we're going to go straight for the Flash Cannon. We are not baiting in here. Does the opponent... No, they don't! They do not respect the damage. Galarian Weezing gets absolutely one-shot. Shout out to Jamie Finn for that. And now they have an Escavalier. We're going to bank a Thunderbolt and then switch into our Azumarill here. They're going to get an Acid Spray on us. And it is super tricky now because now that they have an Azumarill, it is very, very hard to come back from this matchup and get reliable damage. Because our Meltan is down a shield, and they are still very, very healthy. And look at that Play Rough damage. They can probably go for a bubble farm down now, which is really, really scary because that Azumarill can output a lot of damage against my Turtonator. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna live to 1 HP, then we're gonna snipe with our Meltan, saving that Azumarill for some kind of catch or something. They're gonna swap back into their Escavalier, and we're gonna 2-tap it with our Incinerates from the Turtonator. This shield has to go onto the drill run that's incoming here because that's the only move that's going to get us low enough. If we hadn't shielded that, they would have been able to bubble farm us down. Hydro Pump's coming through. My goal here is to not debuff our Incinerate attack. Go for the Dragon Pulse. They're going to shield it. We're going to go throw 1 Incinerate and make the perfect catch of the Play Rough onto the 1 HP Azumarill, and I had a feeling that Azumarill was going to come in clutch. Do we live the bubbles? We do. We get the mechanic that usually is like completely unreliable, but I guess it was reliable in that match because if we hadn't gotten that, we would have lost that game, and that's a GG. Another Azumarill lead. I was just seeing so many Azumarill leads, so I figured Meltan was probably better on the lead. So Meltan going a little crazy, grabbing a shield against the Azu. Azu's probably gonna go for a move here. Yeah, Azu's gonna go for the move. They go for the Ice Beam. We're gonna throw another Thunderbolt. Probably get some damage off here, knowing that they can tank it, and they do. So we're gonna swap into our Azu now, forcing something else to come out, like the Empoleon right here. So I'm gonna go for a Hydro Pump, obviously the most reliable bit of damage, since it has stab and like hits super hard like that. Now the opponent's gonna have some really crazy moveset here. They're gonna go for the Flash Cannon, and right here I tried to go for my Play Rough, and the game just did not let me. If you saw that, it like my frame drop went down a lot. Like it was my friends. They cost me that Play Rough move because if we had gotten that Play Rough out, we would have taken Switch or Shield, but now we had to go down a Shield, and now they have an Escavalier in the back. So the only way for me to win this game is like there's literally no win con now. If we had gotten that shield or saved the shield for the drill run that wasn't coming, I have to hope they shield here because we could get the shield for the KO and that would be glorious. But we actually don't get the KO, but they don't make the drill run. But it doesn't matter anyway because the Azumarill still has a move. So yeah, I don't know what Niantic thinks that frame drops have been fixed, but they haven't. So unfortunately, that's a little bit of a loss. So. On to the next match, we have another Azumarill. These Azumarill leads are getting really crazy. We're going to go for a Thunderbolt here. Obviously just going to chip the Azumarill, and we do. Did a little more damage than I expected. Most of these Azumarills are supposed to be really tanky. They're going to go straight for the Hydro Pump. They swap into a Carbink, and oh my god, do they know about the Flash Cannon coverage? They do not! Carbink gets nearly one shot from full HP. Let's go. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get that farm down because they would have made a Rock Slide, but we do get a nice energy lead on our Azu, and things are looking really great for us here. We just have to hope there's something in the back that's weak to the Turtonator or something because our Meltan's really low. We do grab the shield with this Play Rough. Things are looking so fine for us right here. Play Rough's going to be coming in. We're just going to make this Play Rough and we're going to be totally fine. We're probably going to grab a shield here, I expect. No, they're going to let that go. And they have a Turtonator in the back. And oh my god, oh no, there's literally nothing that my Turtonator can do, even because they got one Incinerate on their Turtonator before I did. So that now they can just outpace me to this next Dragon Pulse, and it's just gonna be game over. Maybe if I had better IVs, I would survive the Dragon Pulse and make the next one, but I don't know. I just didn't see that happening. And then our poor little Meltan right here is just gonna get torn to shreds by the Turtonator's overheat. So I really wanted to win that game, especially seeing that Carbink get absolutely nearly one shot. But we'll take that. We'll take that. And into the next match, we see another Flygon. Shadow Flygon's a little bit better of a matchup because we can trade shields, but this one kept over farming. And because it's a normal Flygon, they do tank the Flash Cannon. They're gonna go for Scorching Sands now. They're gonna go for another one against our Azu. We're gonna get the attack drop, which is kind of unfortunate. They're gonna make one more Dragon Claw. I believe this is a Dragon Claw. Yeah, it's a Dragon Claw. We're gonna farm down. They have a Starmie, so we're gonna switch into our Turtonator and completely tear it down. They throw off alignment, which really doesn't matter because they're gonna be going Brave anyway. We would have came out with max energy from that matchup anyway. Maybe gotten a little bit more Steel Wing damage off of us, but it doesn't really matter. They do have a Goodra. Now, this already looks like a really good win, obviously, because we still have our Azumarill that's pretty healthy. It can make a Play Rough, but they make a crazy move and try to snipe with Flygon. I respect that play, but our Turtonator lived on 1 HP and one-shotted the Goodra. So, I appreciate their motivation for still trying to win the game, but unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. In the next match, we see a familiar lead. The opponent swaps in a Turtonator, and it was a good thing that I had quick reactions on my fingers, because otherwise we would have taken a huge bit of damage from just one Incinerate. And now we have this Turtonator locked onto our Azumarill, which is really nice. I don't know why I keep going for Play Rough here. I should be going for Hydro Pump. I'm expecting a bait. Probably going to grab their shield. But anyway, we're gonna grab some energy off of here. They're gonna go for an overheat. Would I still force to shield another one? Yeah. Yeah, I should be going for Hydro Pump. I don't know why I'm going for Play Rough. I make a lot of mistakes like that later in the video, but they're going to come into their Empoleon now. And let's see, they let the Hydro Pump go through. We're gonna come into our Turtonator here, try and get a farm down. They have really good timing on their charge moves here. Hydro Cannon is gonna do a lot of damage. I need my Meltan to come in and do something crazy because Meltan is down a shield, but we can still put a lot of work in this matchup. The Wigglytuff's gonna shield. We're gonna no shield this because I know we have enough energy to make it to the next Icy Wind. Flash Cannon's gonna be we're just gonna be able to make the Flash Cannon. Do they respect the damage? They're gonna let that go, and this is gonna be really close. Do we get a farm down? Oh no! It's gonna be a tie, and that's definitely gonna be a GG on my opponent. In the next match, we see an Alolan Sandslash on Powder Snow. I kind of figured that Shadow Claw would probably be the preferred moveset since you still have coverage against the Giratina Origin, which I really don't like in this cup, by the way. Like, if I had people to go around and like trade with for that Great League Giratina, I so would, but I don't. Obviously, I have like close relatives around me that I can go and be like, hey, you got a Great League Giratina you want to trade, but we're already too high of a friendship, so it's kind of unfair. But anyways, we're going to take out their Sandslash. I'm totally fine with losing Switch because we have a great shield advantage here. Meltan's up 2 shields, but they have an Alolan Dugtrio in the back. And I have never ever seen this Pokemon before in Go Battle League. But I guess it's paying off because if they were on Sand Attack, they would have probably reached 2 Mud Bombs here. Or if they had thrown on better timing, they probably would have won this game. Because once the Dragonair gets this move off, if they had gotten one more Mud Slap off and thrown on good timing, they would have won that game because they would have gotten the farm down. But that's just how it's gonna be. GG's. In the next match, we see another Empoleon. I kind of shifted between these Azumarill leads, and then I guess everybody got tired of the Azumarill, so they started running Empoleon. And now we're gonna see the Turtonator swap in, and this is why I wanted to use Azumarill over the Clefable again. I needed a better response to Turtonator because it's super weak, especially considering that the Turtonator is probably going to be a safe swap on this team. I do correctly go for the Hydro Pump, but it's fine. But yeah, if like the Turtonator is on our safe swap, it would be a lot harder to deal with if the Turtonator was on the lead, say, because I wouldn't have a good response to the Turtonator at all. They're going to come and snipe with their Empoleon. We're going to just go straight for this Thunderbolt right here. Completely one-shotting the Empoleon right there. Turtonator's going to come back in. We're going to shield this move right here. We're going to go straight for a Thunderbolt, just trying to see what Meltan can do. Meltan's taken out 2 Pokemon so far. What's in the back? They have a Shadow Alolan Sandslash, and let's go. Do we tank the Drill Run here? We do tank the Drill Run, but do they get the farm down? No, they don't. We live on 1 HP. And that would have been a really close end game, but that's a GG. In the next game, they have a Shadow Magnezone on the lead, and I believe I've only seen this lead like once or twice. But what I usually do is I just go straight for the Flash Cannon. If they don't shield, they don't shield. But we actually make it to 2 moves here, and considering that Flash Cannon just did more damage, I would just go for it first. They'd probably be like, oh, I didn't expect that, you know. Anyway, they would be taking the matchup. They had fixed the shield, but now we completely walled them with their Turtonator. I don't know why they didn't go for Wild Charge. That was very weird. But now our Azumarill looks pretty fine to sweep here because they have a Flygon in the back. We can shield the Scorching Sands because this is the only move that's going to be doing damage to our team later on. Even though the Azumarill has a great matchup against our Turtonator, our Azumarill is going to still be pretty healthy considering that this Flygon matchup is still going to be winnable. And obviously we can throw some player-ups onto their Azumarill as our own. So we're going to go for this player-off, taking out the Flygon. Their Azumarill is going to be coming back in. I wanted to swap, and they do throw off alignment, which is really good for us because we get a free Incinerate for free. We're going to shield this Hydro Pump. Go for this Overheat. Going to be doing massive damage onto here. Yeah, it gets it to 50%. I just really love how Turtonator is just handling this matchup comfortably, like really, really well, just because of this typing and the stab, and the stats are really good. They're going to go for a move here. They go for a Play Rough. That's going to take us out. We need to reach one more Play Rough, and we're so fine. They actually make one more Play Rough, and the reason why I didn't throw a move there was because I knew it would live that Play Rough, and I wanted to go a little toxic and throw that Hydro Pump BM at him. But yeah, that's going to be GG. Another Empoleon lead in the match. People do not like to see the Azumarill on the lead, I'm telling you. We're going to go for CMP tie onto their Hydro Cannon. We're going to shield, obviously, because a Hydro Cannon would one-shot us. Thunderbolt should be grabbing the shield here if they don't respect the damage, and we do grab the shield. So we're going to swap into our Turtonator now, because we didn't want to stay in that matchup, because it was a losing matchup. Since they were that pace, blah, 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 blah. Hydro Cannon is going to be coming through. I expected them to attack, so I wanted to wait a turn and make sure it didn't get caught until like a Fairy type or something. But they do have the Fairy type in the back, and it's a Slurpuff, so it's very, very, very interesting Pokemon to see, considering that it's actually got really good coverage here against the entire meta. Because I saw that they were on Flareoff first, so I was like, let me just come into my Azumarill, because they're probably going to be on Flamethrower because of all the Steel types. And it looks like my call was right, because they are going to go for the Flareoff instead of something like Energy Ball. So that was a really good read on my end. But they're down 2 shields, and they have an Escavalier in the back, so right here is just a win. But I wanted to give Meltan a little bit more screen time, so we do reach a Thunderbolt on 1 HP, and Thunderbolt's not going to be getting the KO, but that did enough damage for us to... Well, they do make 2 moves here, but all we had to do was just no-shield the first one. If they had gone for Acid Spray and we had shielded it first, then they would have won because they win CMP. But it was a good thing that I didn't shield the first move, so... Now, we can go for this flare up, and that's going to be the game. Next match, we have another Empoleon lead, and this one's actually on Waterfall, so I don't know what the opponent is doing. They might be running some kind of toxic team here. But they let the Thunderbolt go through, and the Empoleon gets nearly one-shotted. And we catch a Hydro Cannon too. And this definitely looks like Empoleon Double Charm. So I'm already considering, like, maybe I should just full send the Hydro Pump, and my Turtonator will probably have a good time against their Fairy type. Meltan is actually a pretty good core breaker, believe it or not. There's obviously stuff like Shadow Magneton that would do way better, but Meltan is just the underrated, the underdog, you know, against this core. But we're gonna come into our Turtonator, and then they're gonna see it, and then they're gonna concede. So GG. Now I believe, oh no, it's not this one. Okay, later in the video, they're gonna swap into a Flygon against the Turtonator lead. They already had a pretty good lead, so I don't know why they swapped. But we're gonna take this Flygon out the way. We're gonna go for a Play Rough. Play Rough's probably gonna get shielded because they know they can get damage off. Yeah. Excuse me. They're gonna go for another Scorching Sands. We're gonna be able to rank a Play Rough, no problem. Oh, they actually do reek of Dragon Claw. I did not expect that. Okay. So we're still fine. We had a committed shield, but it's totally fine. Are they going to shield? They are going to shield. So my first initial thought was like, okay, this Flygon is going to be super deadly now because it has really good coverage against my entire, the rest of my team here. So I need to, like, maybe farm it down or something. They would have made another Dragon Claw, and they did not want that to happen. So I am unfortunately forced to throw a move. So Flygon's outputting a lot of pressure onto our team here. Turtonator can probably just sweep the rest of our team. They go for Felsinger, but Felsinger leaves us on 1 HP, and the only win con here is if we have to hope that they have a Tapu Fini in the back. Do they have it? They have a Turtonator, so that's going to be GG's. I believe this was the battle that... yes, okay, so early on in the video, early on when I was I believe this was my first Meltan battle, I wanted to try out with my MVP and my favorite... Not my favorite, the showcase, like the spotlight. You know, Shadow Salamence and Shadow Mawile. If you didn't know, Shadow Mawile was able to take me up to Legend for the first time. But this trainer here, I want to give a huge credibility to because I had so much fun in that battle. If you didn't see, they were running Shadow Magneton on the lead, and I was like, dude, that's so cool. Unfortunately, their Flygon is putting us in a super hard position because our Salamence is just so glassy. We're going to throw this fly, and they have a Snarl Granable, so if they were on Charm, it would have been a little better for us. We would have probably won, but since they were on Snarl, they were able to take that game. Now, this is going to be the last battle of the day. I wanted to include this battle just because I wanted to make an even 20, but for the rest of the video, if you enjoyed it, I hope you did, and I hope you can drop a sub, maybe a like on the video, share it with someone, comment down below if you enjoyed a specific point of the battle, but Other than that, we're gonna have this bonus battle. I just found it in my gallery, and I just really wanted to include it since I never made it into a short. I don't know. I've been pretty busy. Pretty much be busy like the rest of the probably the rest couple months. But we're gonna have our Shadow Chandelure with Energy Ball, one-shotting the Poliwrath, and in comes the Galvantula, and we need Cradily to take out the Shadow Galvantula right here. And I'm pretty sure we can because even though we're Shadow, we still take a lunge. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how my advice on my commentary, stuff like that, and I'll see you in the next one.